Hello again. This is Shantae from Stitching Hearts Embroidery. Happy Sunday. And I am here giving this recording stuff another go. So the funny part about it is that I made a video about a month ago, which was about making a patch. I think I was using aces. So I made that video and put it up. I checked on it that day, maybe the next day, a couple of times, and then I just left it there. I did not go back and look at that video or look at the comments or anything until yesterday. My son gave me the craziest look. So that video had like 700 and something views, and and there were so many questions and comments, and I never saw them. So that just tells you how green I am in this whole YouTube world, because I'm in YouTube all the time. And I think that I expected it to be like Facebook or even Instagram, where I would be hammered with that notification. And maybe I just don't have my notification set up right. I don't even know. So I went back yesterday and I tried to answer some questions. I'm even going to make another patch video later on today. So here I am today. So for right now, I put Stitch Artist 2 back in my software. I really want to do a series of videos without Stitch Artist 2 and 3. So with Embrilliance, Enthusiast, and Stitch Artist 1. Because I believe that that's like the start. Like that's how you start digitizing. And so just for the basics, like not with all the bells and whistles. But one of the benefits or the functions of having Stitch Artist 2 is that ability to play around with vector art, right? So vectors, SVGs, are those things that we've been using since the 2010s. I think I had my first Cricut in probably 2010 maybe? I don't know. Those old Cricuts that had the keyboard looking thing on there. Yeah, way back when. And so, and at that time, SVGs were just a huge thing. Like we were buying them from people and doing the same thing like where we are right now with digitizing, making this transition to being more of an everyday thing. SVGs did that a while ago. And so, there are lots of people who can go in and manipulate SVGs and work them themselves. I still buy them because it's not always worth my time to make them. And like I said before, if somebody else made it and it's cute, why am I remaking it? So, and the cost is down because they're so abundant. I feel like that's where we're getting to with embroidery, especially with some of the new features, new modules that have come out in Dime software. And then also the new software that John Deere is putting out, Embroidery Legacy, that has so many automated features that we're getting more and more to the point where we need to all get on the train, like get on this thing and figure it out. Open up your software and let's figure this thing out. We can still buy digitized files from digitizers, but there are some basic things like you don't need to pay somebody to take some letters off or put some letters on or add a heart or that kind of thing. Like if nothing else, if you purchase this software, you should be able to do some stitch editing. So that's where we're trying to go. So I put Stitch Artist 2 back. I made a design yesterday in, where is it? I can't even get up because my room is so messy that if I get up, it'll be a tragedy. So I'm not. So I did a design yesterday and it was a stethoscope and with a paw. And so it's a design that I found, a free for use design, SVG in Creative Fabrica. I will try to share it. Down below is what I hear people saying all the time, even though I have no idea how I'm going to do that. But because right now my son has me able to click through all of the clicks that I need to make to get my video to YouTube, right? He told me, Mom, stop worrying about an intro and an outro. Just put the video up. And so that I'm going to listen to him right now. So I'll figure out later on today, in case somebody wants to give this a try, how to get the right SVG from Creative Fabrica, share it in here. And so anyway, so here we go. So one thing I want to start about is talking about the hoop size. And so it's always a good idea to at least start your design off with your hoop on screen, even if you don't want to have it there, like if it's bothering you or whatever. Some people don't like it there, but just to give you reference to how the size of your design. You always want to digitize really close to the size of your intended stitch out, your anticipated stitch out. So you want to digitize that size. You don't want to take an object that's 2 inches and digitize it and then think in the end you're going to stretch that design out to 7 by 13 or whatever, because it's going to be a mess, because those stitches are set in the program and in that digitizing to be, I'm just throwing out a number, 1 millimeter apart. And then once you've stretched that design, it changes them. And so the whole thing just turns into a mess. So I have my hoop on the screen. I'm going to go up here to this yellow folder. That's the preference folder. Click on there. And these are the hoops. So I am definitely a mighty hoop using girl. I also use Hoop Tech. I learned about Hoop Tech hoops at the very beginning of my journey in 2019 with So Sweet Academy. Alexis, she was talking about these Hoop Tech things, and she was hooping boots and stuff with these clamped hoops. And I jumped in there and bought these expensive hoops. And I was mad for a minute because I feel like, oh my goodness, these things were so expensive. So I only have a couple of Hoop Tech hoops. I have a few. Maybe I have 4 of them now that I've gathered over time. But then after I got all these expensive Hoop Tech hoops, then I learned about like Durkee hoops, where you get like a whole set for the price of half of a Hoop Tech. I was like, why? It was me. I did not do my research. And the Hoop Techs are wonderful for what they are good for, which is that clamp feature on them and holding crazy objects, you know, holding those things down. So thank you, Alexis. They have come in handy over some time. But man, when I was like, why did I spend $600 on a hoop and a frame? And I could have spent $300 and got 8 hoops or whatever that was. So anyway, that's a story for another day, I guess. So here are the hoops. So some of them are already in here. And then you can always go here to new, name your hoop. You see, I have a hoop called Stocky. I don't know. I just couldn't think of something to put. So just say I have my white mighty hoop, and it's just right here, and it's an 8 by 13. So I'm going to say, I'll say white jumbo, right? And then, so the numbers are in millimeters. I don't know if that's correct or not. That gave me an 8 by 14. So I'm going to edit that, because really I need a 7 7/8. So I'm going to make that 190 by 350. Let's see where that gets me. Some of you know, are going to be better at metric. So 7 by 14, and it is 7 by 13. So I'm going to edit it again. I could look up there and find the hoop and figure out exactly what 14 inches is in millimeters. But yeah, so 7 by 13. So there's my white jumbo. So I've been using Stocky, this one, which is 8 by 14. That's a hoop that came with my my Entrepreneur Pro. It's a PR 1050X, my 10 needle machine. So that is the hoop. So I'm going to push apply, and then you can rotate it or not and push OK. So it's here. I'm going to go right over here to where it says vector. Choose vector. That's going to bring up my files. I know it's this one because I did it yesterday. So there it is. This is the file that I am attempting to digitize. I put a bounding box around the whole thing. because I'm just going to drag it down to size. I need it to fit within this hoop and have some play area. I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for. It just looked like a simple one. I'm going to modify it a little bit because I think I want the bell, the round part of the stethoscope, around this part too. So I'm going to change this a little bit. So just to start, this is the way it came in. So it came in, the toe beans are one thing. This part in the middle, this heart, is separate. And then this, and I can see that because I'm over here in my objects panel, and that those are all of the pieces, right? So one of the things that I see a lot, well, when I purchased Stitch Artist 2, I heard somebody say that you could bring in vector, and I thought, there you have it. That is my quick way to digitizing. I am going to be able to bring that SVG in and just turn this stuff into stitches. I'm ready. I have SVGs from 2010. I can do this. And it didn't work like that. It didn't work like that. I took a class on Stitch Artist 2, still didn't get all of the back end stuff that I needed. And it has just been a long road. Well, then, as you've heard me say, I've been sitting with John Deere and learning about theory, and my brain works in the how and the why. And it just turned on. He definitely is not the biggest fan, to me. It's just my opinion. He's not the biggest fan of all of the new age stuff, right? You know, us, we're a little up there in age and we like what we like. But he also knows and understands that the climate of, or the times right now, that he has to move into these things. And so he is teaching us how to do this first without the SVG. And then we turn around and do a lesson with the SVG. And then I feel like he references that this was quicker the other way around, all the time, but in which it probably is a lot of times. Drawing with points and using the ladder satin kind of thing is really fast once you start practicing it. And it doesn't matter which software you're using. It just, you get better at it with practice. So anyway, I'm going to use my scroll on my mouse to make that zoom in and out, right? And then I'm going to hold down my space key, use my left mouse button, push and drag. So the one thing that I see, and the problem that I had, is that you take this design and you just want to add some stitches to it. Well, it doesn't work like that. It's not that easy, even though that's the way some people say, or that's the way it looks like, or you hear when you look at the description for Stitch Artist 2. But these designs were drawn as vector art to be cut or to be like printed or manipulated in a different way than with stitches. And so there are features in all of these softwares that make it easier to do, but there's still some prep work that you have to do before you get there. And so the thing, as I'm looking at this, I see that when my stethoscope has different color tips on it, the ear tips are a different color. This part is usually silver. I want a satin stitch, and so I have this part. I don't want to have this part connected with that. And I'm trying to tell this software to make this satin stitch go here and down there and around. Let's pan up around this heart. It's going to give me a crazy jumble of stitches that is just not going to work. It's not going to work. The software cannot understand what it is that we're asking it to do. So the thing that we have to do is you have to break this apart. You have to break it apart to get what you're looking for, right? So let's go up here we're in Create. Oh, we are in Create, and let's start with the big part, with this whole thing. So I'm going to choose it over here, and then there are all my nodes. They are up. You can see this is a pretty good design, because sometimes you can bring in a vector art and it has like a million nodes all the way around it. And so this one looks pretty good. So I want to increase it a little bit just because I see these two nodes almost on top of each other. And I know that I don't want to put on glasses, even though I have a huge screen sitting in front of me. And I need to be able to see that. So did you see how I enlarged that? When I said the zoom, this thing is your friend when you're learning how to digitize. I was told a lot of times in every single class, and when I'm saying a lot of classes, I spent probably 5 years. I have been to at least 3 of these embroidery markets and conferences every single year. I've been to a lot. I've just traveled. It is kind of my fun space, the thing that I like to do. I travel alone and I go to these places. Sounds kind of weird saying I travel alone, but I'm just saying I don't have close, friends here that live here with me, or I have not known in the past that live here in Vegas that, are traveling to these things. So it's just a fun thing for me to do. I like to get out the map and figure out where I'm going, how I'm gonna get there, and where I'm gonna stay. Usually I stay close to the circle of people, and I've taken a lot of classes. I've paid for online classes, and I've done a lot of in-person classes. Man, it's been a rough road. But anyway, so here we are. Let's select that again because I clicked off of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the lasso tool. I need to get that right because I never say lasso without saying it both ways every time. So I'm going to use it. I grab that one and I grab that one. They are blue highlighted. I am right clicking on my mouse. I messed up. I didn't do it. I am going to do that. Right click. It says break across. That's what I want. So I just broke that across and there's my one earpiece. So let's grab that earpiece and I just want to show you what it did. So that made, this part of the stethoscope in my earpiece. Let's put it back where it belongs. And then let's go to the next part. So the next one, let's do this right here. Let's grab it. Make it bigger, lasso those parts, click on it with the right mouse button, break across. So we have, this is going to be silver, this is going to be black. Let's move up. I have my hand on the space key, left mouse button, and I'm scooting up. Let's unclick those. Let's click this one. Let's lasso those. Right mouse click, break across. Did that one. Let's get this one. Oh, we gotta get out of there because it's 2 things selected, so it won't work right. So we have to just select the one part that we need. Nope, it's not that one. We need this thing. Yep. So I'm gonna make it bigger because I see all those nodes stacked on each other that I need to be able to navigate around. So I don't want that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Let me expand this. So do you see it went, so I can push this plus sign and expand that. Let me choose this. I'm getting these 2. Nope, I didn't get them. Try it again. I want those 2. I got them. I'm going to right mouse click, break across. Got it. So I have my 2 rubber ear things, my 2 silver stethoscope things. I should probably know the name of those. I can't think of it right now though. Okay, so now we have a little problem, and this is where it gets goofy. And so I don't always know the solution, but I play around with it enough to figure it out. And so the deal is that is separate from this, right? And we want this to be one design. So this is one. I thought I broke that across. No, I don't know. I think I did, but I'm gonna do it again. Let's break across. So there we go. So we have that one, right? We have this one. So this one, the way that I want that satin stitch to go, and so it's hard for me to see because I still need a lot more practice, but I believe that I want this to travel this way, go this way, here, here, stop, maybe butt up behind that or be right there, and then pick up again here, go here and stop. And this is the funny, that I know that we did this one. And sometimes like backing up or doing whatever messes that up. You know what? I'm not playing with this software. I'm just going to go do it again. You want to keep putting these parts back together? Then I might go back and look at this and figure out that I never did it, but whatever. So here we go. So I'm going to take this one, right? I'm going to hold control because if I hold shift, it's going to pick everything between there. So I'm going to hold control and pick that one. So I want those two. I'm going to go up here to create, outline, and I'm going to say, let's try connect outlines. That might work. And so there we are. We're connecting the outline. It has this goofy stitch, but we'll deal with that later. So let's go back to this one. Let's see if that'll work for us. We connected that at the middle one, and let's break it there. No, it hated that. It hated it, right? So let's back up and do what I did earlier, because I did this already. I just wanted to try something different. So I'm going to pick that, and I'm going to combine the whole. Ta! I got to act right. That's what it told me to do. It's like, girl, cut it out. So there we go. So I'm going to pick that one. I'm going to connect it to the whole. Right? And so it did not give me the break apart. And there is some reasoning and some theory behind this connecting it to the whole. And because I am in another software learning, let's just go with it. So sometimes just playing around in here and you figure out the thing that you have to do. And then we're going to break that one across. So look at that. So this gave me this. So if you look over here, let's see. You can see what we have. We have this. That's highlighted. So it's going here, 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 around, right? So what I feel like people say, and definitely what my experience has been, is when you're saying, I can't get this to work, right? So do I have everything? I have everything separated. I think I do. So I will show you first where our problem is, and then I'll show you my way, because there are so many different ways to go about all this stuff to fix it. So I put that there, and it was supposed to give me some craziness, because sometimes that would have gone across that whole thing and not worked out right, but it didn't give it to me. So I can't even show you what I meant. So I will still show you. I was going to say, if it's not able to really read, the software can't understand, you're asking me, this is a satin border. So that's going to go around the edge of something. And so if I use the satin border, let's do that real quick. It's going to give me, this is giving me two lines, one on the outer edge and one on the inner edge. That's not what we want. This would be empty on the inside. It's just that the border is so thick. So let's make the border really small, and then you can really see that there. That's not what we want. I mean, it could be what you want. If you want to put a field stitch on the inside and you want a satin border, that could be. Or if you want this to be an applique, that could be what you want. But I was going for a satin finish, the whole thing satin, the stethoscope being satin. So I am needing to choose satin column, which is here, right? And so if it had been wonky, if this software was saying, I don't know what you're talking about, and I'm going to give you some stitches that's going all the way across here. That's what happens sometimes. Then you go right over here to add inclinations, and we can do that anyway. And you add the direction. And so I'm kind of turning this the way I want it to go, right? I want this to just go around. I'm going to fix that one. I'm going to fix that one like this. I want this one to be, like to start being straight. I want it to go around, 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 and one right at the end, right? So then I'm going to say enter. I want to fix this one. I don't want it that curvy. So this is where I want a smooth satin stitch. When you see designs, people are selling them because all this other brands are becoming so much more automated and people are on here teaching and you see this stuff and it's so easy to see when it's like auto digitized or inclinations and starts and stops are not put in correctly because it looks a mess. And so there we go. Let's change that to a pretty color. So let's go over here to color, choose that. So it was on palettes. Palettes right here has a list of the colors that you are currently working with, right? And so we're going to choose something like this. Okay, so you guys can see it good. And then we're going to go to this part. We're going to ask it to give us a satin column and no grief. We're going to click the color and it's on threads, right? But I want this same color again. So I'm going to go to palettes and choose the same color and okay. So there we go. So the same thing. It looks pretty good. A little goofy here and a little goofy there just because I know it a little bit. Get in my select. And so I'm going to, let's go back to create and go to our inclinations and let's put some here and see if we can help the software figure out which direction we're asking it to stitch. And so I'm going to click. I'm going to fix some of these because I'm kind of wild with it. Okay. How does that look? A little bit better. I think one of the issues here is going to be my start and stop. So this is going to stitch here. And I'm going to want it to start up here. And I'm going to want it to stop here. So this one, I'm going to want it to start, stop up here. And start here. So, I don't know. Let's see how that turns out. So there we are. Those two are done. Let's do this piece. Same deal. We want that to be a column. We want to change the color. We want to go up here to our palettes and change that color. We want all of this to be a column. We're going to change the color. That's usually like a gray color. Some lighter colors. Okay, so then we're going to do this one. We're going to make it a satin column, change the color. We could go to palettes now, so we can pick that same gray again. There we go. And let's close that. Oh, I didn't do it. I didn't push OK. So palettes, gray, OK. Remember, I'm holding down space, moving it down. I am going to, let's make that a fill stitch. Let's make this one a fill stitch. And black is good. Let's do this. let's do something like, let's try a satin column. I think it's gonna, I was gonna say it might be kind of goofy. It's gonna start there. I'm gonna want it to stop here. And then I see all kind of lines and goofiness going on in it. So I definitely need to help this software. And I want it to go like this, and like this. See how that goes. There's some other, look at that. That gives it, that was waves. I want it to look like a paw. That gives it some scales. I think I like that, right? So my other issue right now is I think these, so that's first. That one's second. That's perfect. That one's third. So this one, I want to move up. I'm in the way. So I'm going to select that and I'm going to say move earlier. Haha, easier. No, I did that wrong. I want this one. Let's move it later, later, later. So I want that one last. I want this one first. Earlier, earlier. Right. So I want this one first. This one's third. So this one's second, move earlier. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing is, so I want this to stitch, that it's going to come here, then it's going to switch to this one, and then I want it to go here, 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 and here, right? And so for each one of these, I am going to make it a satin, and it took on the same properties as the last satin or the other part that I used here. So let's get them all done first, and then we'll look at this. And so I want it to start here because this one's going to end here. And then stopping here is perfect, but then this one needs to start right around here and end there. This one needs to start right around here and end there, and this one needs to start here and it can end wherever. Why did I do that? It can end wherever it wants to end. Okay, so there we are. We have a little bit of texture to that. I see some funny looking something over here, and I'm going to add some inclination to here. This, at least at the beginning and the end, but then this needs to turn. So I'm trying to tell this to give me some smooth turns. Let's see if that helped. And then we might as well do this one. And so back to that thing where I was saying the thought is that you're just going to take this SVG and it's going to automatically make it. Yep, people do that all the time. And you can look at the stitches and see that that's what's going on. So let's travel the edge. So if you see that I made that a fill stitch, and I'm going to go right over here to properties and travel the edge. And I am all over the place because I'm just sharing this with you. Like for somebody who's in this place and this is what they're trying to learn, then you will get it. You will get it right away. You'll say, oh, I get what she just did. Let's change this and these toe beans. Will it let me do the color all at once? Let's see. Let's make it a new color. Let's make it like that. Okay, like that. And so this is where we are. Now the other thing, so I still have to figure out the order. And so I'm not that great with it. And because I move across different softwares right now as I'm trying to just learn the best of each one, is different for the different softwares. And so that is not lending to me getting better per se in like this one, because there's a different way to do it in a different software. So I want to add a circle. So right here, I'm going to go to circle. I am going to add it. Whoop. I'm going to delete it because I know that if I hold down my shift key, I'm going to get a perfect circle, and that's what I want. So there it is. I'm going to move it right over here, just like that. I think that's close enough on all sides. I'm going to hold shift again. I'm going to select it, hold shift, and bring it out just a little bit so I have room for my border. So I'm going to put a color behind it and then a border around it. So I have a line, right? So I'm going to copy and paste. So now I have two lines. So this one line, the first line, I'm going to make it it's going to be a fill stitch, but I'm going to do a very light fill stitch. I'm going to change the color. So I'll have to go in properties later and deal with that. I'm going to change the color to something like this. I'm going to say okay, and I'm going to move it first. So now it's way up at the top. It's going to stitch that first, and then you can see my toe beam thingy still. And then this one, I am going to do a satin border. And I wanted the color of, let's go to palettes and make it winter sky. There we go. And so that is okay, but then that gave me a little issue, and that is that this was originally connecting. So I'm going to go in and fix it. I no longer need, I'm going to go out of 3D because then I can see my stitches better. And I'm going to go, I am in create. So I'm going to double click and get rid of those. It told me, girl, stop it. So really what I need to do is I need to hide all this other stuff so that I can see what I need to do. So I'm going to click on fill and I'm going to hide it, the fill stitch. I'm going to click on this border and I'm going to hide it. And I'm going to click on the toe thing and I'm going to hide it. Right, so here we go. So the toe thing, I need it. Nope, I don't. I just confused myself. What I need is this border because I need to see where it's overlapping with on the border. So I'm going to add a point right here. And a point right here. I just double clicked. So if you double click on a point, it's going to delete it. If you double click on your line, it's going to give you a point. So that point, those 2 points are there. And I am going to now delete these points. And so that is still allowing me, let's move my stop way down here. That's allowing my shape to still be held because I put some points right there, right? And I don't want to mess up my shape. So here we go. I am going to choose those two and I'm going to break across. And so for so much of this, I fake it till I make it, right? And so there we go. So we are back. What did I do with my start and stop? Who knows? I'll find it. And so that took it back to a line. It said, girl, you're doing too much. I don't know what you want here. So we're going to go back to a satin column. And there we go. So that just allowed that to not be sticking out all into my design. So now I want to go and unlock that one. I have, you see the little white lock. So I'm going to click it and unlock it. And there we go. So now we're going to go back to our 3D view. And I see something else. When I go like this, I see a line across that satin stitch, right? That's another giveaway that this design is not, all of the theory behind embroidery has not been attended to. And so it's an inclination line. And sometimes when you buy designs, you find that they have some goofy line going through them. I have a lot of those, and then I don't buy from that maker anymore. It's that easy. Sometimes I have asked a couple of times about something being corrected, especially before I knew how to do it. And when they ignore me or get mad about me asking, then that's okay. I'm just not going to buy it. So there we go. So what I just did was, this is the way the pattern is going. This is the incline of the pattern. These yellow, remember we used it up here. This one had it in there automatically. It can be changed, but I just know from practice that moving that start and stop opposite that inclination line gives you a better balance and allows that to stitch without that line going through it. So I believe we are done. The only thing we need to do is I might want to go in and change some of the preferences. And so like this one, my fill stitch, I could put holes in here and have this stitch out these toe beans in a blank hole on there. But I really just think that I would rather not have, just make this a little, let's bring that all the way up. And I probably didn't do that right. So density, I don't need to travel the edge. I don't need it curved. Underlay, that's what I need. So I don't need all of this. And I am thinking wrong software. I'm figuring out what I do need. So I am going to take the contour off. There is a number that's going to get me what I'm looking for. And I don't know the number right off. Sorry. I'll go figure it out and maybe I can put it down later. But so what I'm saying is I don't want this to be heavy stitches and then this heavy on top. I definitely could take, maybe I'll do that. I'll take this one and choose this one. And no, this one. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to say outline. And I'm going to say, do I have both of them? Yes, I have both of them. So, okay. And I know what I did wrong. So I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to take this. I'm going to copy. I'm going to paste, right? Oh, no, wrong one. I just got myself into a world of goofiness here. So I'm going to take that one. I chose it, just clicking with the button. I'm going to hold control and I'm going to choose, no. I need to copy and paste this first. I'm going to copy I'm going to paste, right? Then I'm going to choose that one and go up here, control, and choose this one. And I'm going to go to create, and I'm going to say combine hose. So let's choose this, move it out of the way, and it gave me a hole, which is fine. It can only do one hole at a time. And so I would have to go to each one of these, choose my feel. But the more holes that you put in something, the more wonky your stitches get. And I'm not sure that I really want to do that now. I don't know if I want to do that now. I'm not there yet. I need to work through that. I keep hearing somebody opening my door. And so I'm going to leave it at this. Let me check that satin border. It's a 1 millimeter. I definitely don't want that. Let's bring that up to about a 3. Yeah, that's fine. We want to put a pattern in it or something? I don't think so. I'm already doing the most. We could. It's nice. And there we go. So there you have it. So I have not done the best or with breaking apart this and taking the back part out. But I'm going to end this. We're on 46 minutes right now, and I didn't mean for this to take this long. So I think that I gave you some tools to work with to at least be able to start playing with SVGs. At least you get the concept. I haven't worked through all my starts and stops. And so that's the other thing that you're going to have to do. You have to think about, how do you want this to stitch out? And I think that I'm going to have it stitch this back turquoise first. So it would start, I want it to end here, right? So I'm going to start it up here and end it down here, right? So that my machine's just not going all over the place. Then next, I'm going to deal with this. So I'm going to deal with this purple next. And then I can also see that I changed oh, I have scales on there. That's why. I'm going to deal with the purple next because I want this outline, this ring around here to be on top of this. So this has to stitch first, right? So I'm going to do this next. And my start is there, is at the top, which is fine. But my stop needs to be right here, right? And then this one will be next. My start needs to be here so that I don't have jump stitches everywhere. And my stop, let's see. Yep, that was my stop. And my stop needs to be up here. And then this one, I want my start there and my stop. I want it over here, right? Because I'm going to let it do, no, I want it to do this side. I'm going to let it do this silver, hop over here, do this silver. Using probably this theory that I've been learning, I need to add some run stitches under so that it can just hop over to the other one, like it can do one and then some run stitches around and do the other. But look, we're keeping this real simple for right now. And so this is going to give me this, and then this. No, it's going to give me this. It's going to start there and stop there. That's fine. Then this one's going to, let's start and stop up here. Because next it's going to go this black one. We definitely want it to start on this side. And this one, we want it to start on this side. So it's going to go from here. It's going to jump over here. And then we have to come back to here. So when it comes back to here, we can do this next, which we will move earlier. earlier, and earlier. You can drag it up, but I don't want to get mixed up. So we'll do that one, and then we'll do the toe beam thingies. It's starting here, so really we'll do this one last. We're going to move it last. And so it should be this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, and then this one. And so because this one's last, we are going to really want it to start over here and maybe end somewhere down here. We want that one in there. Yeah, I don't know. I'll go back and look at those later. And so there you go. So this is, I can see that it did not like me moving that, moving something. Let's see. Oh, because I put the hole in there. And so if you can tell, I put the hole and then it did not like the way, the inclination, because there's a light patch over here. So it's telling me that this is worried about what I'm asking it to do. And so I'm not sure. I'm going to figure out about lightening the stitch here and filling that hole to just give me, a smoother look, or I'm going to work through and put holes for all of these and make sure that they're covering the holes. So I'll work on that. But basically, this is it. This got long and kind of crazy. We are at 50 minutes, almost 1 hour. But that is our design. I like the texture. I like using a mix of feel. I might change this a little. Did I do that? I don't think so. That was a little. And so that's it. Gave you a little peek into changing an SVG into an embroidery design. Sorry about the whole part, but this is just going to take way too long. And I have to figure out some setting stuff. That's it. So I will see you guys later. I'm going to take Stitch Artist 2 back out of here because I'm going to share some making patches with the basics again later on. So I will see you all later. Have a great Sunday. Bye.